Since there seems to be nobody who can prove what happened to the serial world-class tree jumper, allow me to add another fantastic but entirely plausible conspiracy theory, or more precisely, one might argue, conspiracy analysis to the cyclonic swirl of comedic mainstream media bullshit and various and sundry sardonic speculations, including my own, that have nothing to do with empirical fact. What's the Queen of England gonna say when videos surface of her son stooping a few underage girls on Epstein's island? We don't know what we don't know, but the majority on both sides of the political fence ain't buying the tree jumper hung himself bullshit story. It's more like the chomo was choked, fits the fact pattern, and what happens in real life better than the guards took a 3-hour nap because they were tired while the closed-circuit TV cameras happened to all succumb to an electromagnetic pulse due to a coronal mass ejaculation. The And We Know Their Tube channel of Serial Brain 2's posts makes the powerful argument for Epstein in white hat custody because it would be idiotic to not think that all the rich and powerful pedivores this guy can bring down are going to stand idly by while the chomo is debriefed and gets still another sweetheart deal while they're looking at being strapped to a gurney and put down like rabid dogs. With the Mockingbird mainstream media and us truthers causing a shitstorm of confusion, has these scumbags scurrying to find out what the fuck is going on. If their attempt failed, they're screwed, they think, because Epstein could testify or reveal the location of an additional unknown evidence that he has as his dead man switch. If their hit succeeded, they still don't know what the fuck to do, and in trying to find out, they dig themselves an even deeper hole. Who has both the most to lose and the means and the political influence to carry out a hit right in the middle of a federal prison facility? Who has the diplomatic oomph and a deep state pedivore governor that also has skin in the baby parts market? Yeah, the Queen and Cuomo. Perfect. But the plan failed. The hitman was caught. He must now turn state's witness or go silently into that long good night with the rest of these motherfuckers.
Now, speaking of Epstein's friends, the British royals are no strangers to salacious headlines in the press. But what is rare is for the Queen to address them. This week, as the news of Jeffrey Epstein's death hit, so did his ties to world's elite. Now, photos of Prince Andrew, the Duke of York, splashed all over the papers with his arm around a then underage Epstein accuser, Virginia Giuffre. Joining us to discuss this seemingly global phenomena that is the Jeffrey Epstein case, former UK MP George Galloway. First, George, can you touch on the British royal family for those watching outside of the UK? The Queen herself has come forward to defend her son, Prince Andrew, of any wrongdoing. How uncommon is that, and does that carry any weight?
Well, it is remarkable how many top people found Jeffrey Epstein's company so salubrious, given his decades-long sideline of being a paedophilic child sex trafficker. It's amazing what they saw in him, or what they failed to see in him. And, of course, a member of the British royal family, well, that puts a silver coronet on it. Prince Andrew is not the most popular of British royals. 59-year-old son of the Queen, hasn't done much in his life by way of gainful employment, but then the taxpayer keeps him in a pretty royal lifestyle. And the fact that the Buckingham Palace have now given this statement, which, as you say, is unusual, they normally follow the rubric never complain, never explain, is obviously a sign of the pressure that they are under. Their statement that Epstein was a mere acquaintance of Prince Andrew rather than a friend is plainly false, as a simple Google search for pictures of them in each other's company and in the company of the young girl that you mentioned, would testify. The palace statement, though, will have a chilling effect on the British media because it's so rare. The Queen saying we are not amused, which is effectively what she has said through the Buckingham Palace spokesman, will normally call off the dogs so far as the British tabloids are concerned. There is still a bit of deference in this country to Her Majesty the Queen, even if not to her many children and grandchildren.
And now, George, as you said, the royal family is now calling Epstein an acquaintance of the Duke, not a friend. They're obviously trying to distance themselves from a man who allegedly ran a child sex trafficking ring. So with Epstein's death, there is a strong chance now that the U.S. Department of Justice will pursue investigations into several people in Epstein's orbit, including Prince Andrew. Will the fact that he is a royal in any way alter or hamper such investigations?
Well, I think there's no allegedly about it. He was convicted earlier in 2008, and the sheer amount of evidence in what was going to be his last trial, one presumes, is so overwhelming that the only question is who knew and when did they know it? About his proclivities, which were sordid indeed, even on the official record, never mind the untested allegations in court. The fact that a British prince is involved, I don't know if deference stretches all the way to New York. It oughtn't to, because the truth of these matters should be out, and Epstein's death should not halt the flow of information, because that will leave the victims of Epstein and his ring, they will leave them without justice, will leave them without closure, and that cannot possibly be right. I have a long history with the Maxwell family, Manila. I played a not inconsiderable part in the downfall of Ghislaine Maxwell's father, with allegations that I made in Parliament just a couple of weeks before he too met a mysterious, unexplained death off the back of a yacht called the Lady Ghislaine, called after his daughter, who's now right at the heart of this whole affair. And it seems to me the very least the US authorities have to do is find Miss Maxwell and question her about the serious allegations that are now being brought against her. Many people will feel that she should not have gotten off so lightly back in 2008 when she was allowed to make a whole string of out-of-court settlements, which of course is code for money changing hands in exchange for charges being withdrawn.
Wow, what a fascinating connection to all of this, George. And real quick, last question here. This past weekend on the news of Epstein's death, we saw Prince Andrew jet off to Balmoral Castle, joined with his ex-wife, Sarah Ferguson. Forget the chatter of this possible reunion of the Duke and Duchess, but Sarah Ferguson herself has connections to Epstein directly in the way that she borrowed money in the millions from Epstein to pay off her debts after the divorce. What do you make of their meeting in Balmoral?
Yeah, I mean, what first attracted Mr. Epstein to Sarah Ferguson? It's obvious. It's her proximity to the British royal family, her proximity to power and influence. And her relationship to Epstein was that she was in his pocket, and not for an inconsiderable amount either. What happened at Balmoral this weekend were carefully orchestrated manoeuvres to show a bit of solidarity in the royal family, a bit of support for Prince Andrew, knowing, of course, that these stories were about to break and were going to run and run. So look forward to more of that. Who knows, maybe even wedding bells will chime again for Prince Andrew and his former wife.
All right, we will see. We'll leave it right there. George Galloway, thank you so much for your insight today.
Good morning, Mr. Phelps. No doubt you've heard of the arrest of Jeffrey Epstein. He was taken to the Manhattan federal lockup while the FBI searches his New York residence. You also know about FBI and NYPD on their way to Little St. James Island along with Russian ground-penetrating radar. It seems that Jeffrey had buried evidence under tons of concrete a few weeks ago. In that evidence, we believe there is a USB flash drive, DVD, or other digital recording of Prince Andrew schtoopin an underage girl. The Queen is very pissed off and is driving us crazy here. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to infiltrate the Manhattan Correctional Center, disable the cameras, and tuck the guards in for a peaceful nap. Get into Epstein's cell and beat this tree jumper until he tells you where he has hidden the videos he has of Prince Andrew. Then choke the chomo and make it look like he hung up. As always, should you or any of your IM force be caught or killed, the Secretary will disavow any knowledge of your actions. Good luck, Jim.
This tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
Now that the fake news has reported Epstein is dead in an attempt to scare away those who were thinking of cooperating, trying to kill him again will be a little more problematic. He can now be listed in a witness protection program or something similar until the apotheosis of the grand finale. I am pretty confident AG Barr has a good surfing board to make the best of the magnificent wave the fake news has just offered him. Enjoy the show. Q2452, thank you for your service to our country, Mr. Jeff Sessions. Your sacrifices will never be forgotten. Q+.
For nothing is secret that shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad.
Please subscribe to our backup channels, Whirlwind Revolt, Inglorious Patriots, and Net for Truth USA 2 Patriot Channel. You can also find us at Net for Truth USA on BitChute. We fly so close to the target, we're on our 4th fighter jet. We will be relentless truth seekers until the enemies of freedom are defeated. You can support this channel by using the links in the description, but for a $100 donation, I will personally send you a autographed hardcover special edition copy of Land of Childhood's Fears. Also, visit my bookstore at lulu.com/net4truth USA. If you are viewing this video on BitChute, you can use the links in the description to support us, or simply click the green $ dot on our video to support this channel. Thank you. Links are in the description section.